Nyob Xiong,
Nyob.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to our first episode for 2025.
I know.
It's actually been a hot minute. Like, this time, I'm being for real. It's been a hot minute. The past couple of months for us have been crazy.
I hope you guys are well.
Yes, we hope you are well. And we're very, very blessed to be able to present to you our first episode of 2025, which is Are You Free to Share Your Testimony? Featuring our first ever guest, Jenny Xiong.
Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. I should have asked, do I look at you or do I look at...
You can look wherever you want.
Turn out, we're back and better.
We're back.
We're back and we're
better. And we're just going to be having a good chat with one of our really close friends, Jenny, about her testimony.
Yeah.
And we already know some details, but we don't know the whole thing. So we're really excited to hear about what she has to say and what she has to share and what the Lord has put on her heart for us today. So Jenny, what's your name? Where are you from?
What's your name?
Tell us all about yourself.
Introduce yourself to the Are You Free gang.
So hi, I'm Jenny. Actually, I remember the questions you guys sent me a long time ago, and I actually wrote like a speech, but
It's alright.
yeah, I won't use it.
It's okay.
I wrote over it. It's even embarrassing. My name's Jenny. I am ethnically I'm Hmong. And
What's that?
What's
a
lot of our viewers don't know what Hmong is.
Yeah.
True, you're probably wondering why I have like a really strong Aussie accent.
I love her Aussie accent.
Hmong is it's an ethnic group that you would find in like Thailand, Laos, all over Asia, Southeast Asia. My parents are from Laos. I was born in New Zealand, but raised here in Australia.
Ooh.
I thought you were born in Brisbane.
No, so I'm New Zealand born.
Wow. Do you have a New Zealand citizenship? Or
I
passport?
do.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
No way.
I don't have my passport anymore.
But you're dual citizen?
Yeah.
No way. What? I just don't know this.
Wait, so when did you move to Brisbane?
Well, I was probably like maybe 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm the second eldest. I have 6 other siblings. So one older sister, 4 younger sisters.
Yeah. Nice.
I lied. 3 younger sisters. 3 younger sisters and 2 younger brothers. Yeah. The youngest, we have a bit of an age gap. So I think I graduated high school when he was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
12 years.
Yeah.
I think that's more. That's
No.
18 years.
Yeah. I wish I was that young.
12 and you're in high school.
12 years of schooling. Alrighty, so what did your family believe in growing up? And what did you believe in growing up?
Growing up, I think I was like a second gen in my family. I kind of rebelled a bit. So my family, they are very they're very spiritual. So they follow the main religion of Hmong people, which is they believe in spirits. The academic term would be an animist.
Animist.
Yeah. But you can edit that out if
I'm not gonna edit that out.
if Wikipedia says it's wrong.
Similar to
Very similar to like Japanese.
Shamanism?
Yeah, very similar to. So we have shamans. Yeah, very similar to like the Japanese culture, like religion.
Right.
Yeah, so we have shamans, and usually, like if you're sick or if you're wanting good things, the shaman is kind of the person that you would go to, to help you with those, I guess, issues or. Yeah.
Is it a very like ancestral thing almost, or is it just random spirits?
It is very ancestral. It is heavy spiritually though. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you grow up believing in a god, or was it just like I guess, the spirits around?
Was there an ultimate God?
Yeah.
Like an overarching God?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah. So disclaimer, I'm probably not the best representation for Hmong people.
You're the perfect representation.
But the way I grew up was, like if we had because I have a lot of siblings, every child that is born into a family, you would have a shaman and like you'd have a ritual to kind of bless them and welcome them. And you would seek the blessing through your spirits, through the spirits of your family. And the spirits of your family is like, it depends on your father's side as well.
Right.
So once, like as a woman, if you're born into, or if you marry into another person's family, your spirits don't actually belong to your parent, like on your parents' side.
Right.
It's
your husband?
your husband's side.
Right.
Yeah. So usually for weddings as well, it's very spiritual.
Right. And it's very like it's a paternal thing. Is that the right word? Paternal? Like it usually follows the male's line in the family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it is very difficult to marry outside of the religion.
Right.
As a woman, at least.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you were really rebellious. What did you mean by that?
I didn't believe in anything growing up. Like I just didn't crave that I needed to at least follow what my parents believed in. It just didn't feel right. I would see things and I was like always told, I have to do this. There'd be days where like we wouldn't be able to open the door to anyone, which is like a spiritual thing because you don't want it must have something to do with not letting spirits in. So we'd have to follow things like that, which I would do, but I wouldn't understand why. And the fear like of my parents is the only reason why I would like do things. But did you like, I guess, know for sure during those times that you did not, like you were like, nah, I don't believe in this, I'm just doing it because I'm scared of my parents?
What was it?
It was very like I'm scared of my parents and I love them and I'll do what they want. They want and what they feel is good for me.
To not disappoint them.
And being like the second eldest, it's very hard to not put your parents first, or your family first.
Fair enough. Do you reckon your siblings also felt the same way?
I'm not 100% sure, but I know my younger siblings have it a bit easy. I think because now that like I'm very open about like my walk with God, they see that, so they see that there's now an opportunity to
be a bit more like
to have their own,
a bit more freedom. Have their own thoughts and stuff. That's really good. And I think that makes you a really good role model for them as well.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. So. You're a good role model.
How old were you what was the turning point? When you were like, I don't believe in this anymore, but I'm just going to follow it.
It was probably like year 11 and 12 when I was kind of looking at my career. It wasn't I wasn't looking for another religion, but I knew that what my parents believed in was not something I wanted to follow. It also did do a lot about, because my parents would say no to every career I wanted to do. I wanted to pursue like becoming a chef, and like they would always say I can't do that because in the Hmong culture you have to be intelligent as a woman, or like you have to be a good wife, and it was just it didn't really align to like what I felt like was right.
Wow. Did they want you to do the big three: doctor, lawyer, engineer?
The big three.
I didn't feel that pressure, but to be honest, I did well in high school.
Nice.
So it wasn't it wasn't about like what I should be doing. And also, to be fair, my sister's a nurse, so she's a midwife, and I felt like a lot of that pressure came off. So I wasn't really pressured into being like to fit in a career.
Right.
Obviously they would have liked me to, but they never really pushed me. Yeah, because maybe they had hope that I would get somewhere. Yeah, I'd like to think that way.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Your parents are actually like, I don't know much about them, but they interest me so much because of the holiday, the recent holiday.
The recent holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, you'd love them.
It's
They
the funniest thing. Does Kirsten know? Can we tell Kirsten?
Yeah. So my parents went on a trip to Laos recently, a holiday, because they retired last year. And from what me and my siblings know is they went to help rebuild my grandpa's grave.
Wow.
But like one of the last few days of their trip, they sent us a photo in the group chat of them getting facelifts. Both my parents.
In Laos?
Both, yeah, in Laos.
Both the parents got facelifts.
Yeah.
And I love how they didn't tell anyone. Like they literally just
They didn't tell
they
any.
didn't tell anyone.
They didn't
were like,
tell us.
I'm retired. I don't have to deal with the kids anymore.
I don't know what they look like
Facelift.
now, because I'm too scared to ask and see them.
Oh my god.
But they sent us photos of like them right after this, like the surgery, and like they didn't just have facelifts; they had like skin cut off. Yeah, it was very gruesome.
Did it hurt? Surely that hurt. Like surely
100%.
the healing process.
I'm too scared to ask.
I saw the photos. It's like full on, like you know those Chinese TikTok
I've seen it on
videos.
TikTok.
Yeah,
It's like that.
It's like that.
You know, my cousin's mum sent me a TikTok of them. They're on TikTok. They don't even have accounts, and their faces are on TikTok. I think it,
Facelifts?
yeah.
Oh my
I think they were promoting that business.
No way.
Laos?
Yeah.
Most people go to like
Turkey?
I know China and
Korea.
Korea have that.
Yeah.
But China
Yeah.
especially.
Do
My
you guys
parents.
know the joke? It's like, it's not Turkish Airlines, it's Turkish Hairlines because everyone like goes gets a hair
Fix the
transplant.
hairline, bro.
Is that where you go? I'll let my dad know.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's.
So you give a hair transplant,
Wow.
Turkish Airlines.
What you're doing.
So I think the one thing I've learned is I need to tell them that they're beautiful and they look young more.
Tell your parents they're beautiful. I feel like surely everyone thinks that their parents are beautiful. Like I've never met someone that's like, oh, my parents are ugly.
Yeah.
So if you think that your parents are beautiful, like tell them right now.
give them a heads up.
Give them a heads up. 'Cause-
Yep. Or they'll go to Laos and.
Or they might go to Laos when they retire
Yeah.
and they'll get a facelift.
Yep.
They never needed.
Yeah.
When was the first time you heard about Christianity, Jesus, or a higher God outside of your family tradition?
The crazy thing is like in high school, I went to like a public high school with a lot of kids, and I don't think I was conscious about it, but a lot of my close friends were Christian.
Oh.
Yeah, so they would mention things like going to church, but it didn't really stick with me until after high school. And that was kind of when I met one of my close friends, and I asked her the question because I knew her family was Christian. They're also Hmong. And it's really hard to believe that a Hmong family is Christian, because generally if they've converted out of Christianity back to like believing in the spirits and things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's something I heard a lot of.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you heard a lot about that because you came from a family that did practice like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
did believe in shamans and the spirituality
Yeah.
stuff? Like, do you reckon
Definitely.
it was like a bit like propaganda?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like knowing what you know now, is like Christianity, like how would you say? Would you say it's pretty prevalent among Hmong people, or do you think it's still like a pretty rare thing to find Hmong people that are Christian?
my perspective is that it's still very rare, but the Hmong Christians now, I feel like they have a bigger presence now in the Hmong community. Because I can sense that there is a lot of divide, but I feel like that is because of their presence now. Yeah. Which maybe it's not a bad thing.
Well, we know a lot of
They're
Hmong.
being passionate.
We
They're
know a
being
lot of
for
Hmong
Jesus.
Christians.
We actually, we do.
Yeah.
Recently, one of our sister churches started in
Craigieburn.
Craigieburn.
Yeah.
Shout out Craigieburn, a Hmong Christian church. Yeah. And from what I've been hearing, they're going really well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're doing really well.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. So your friends, how did they influence you, and how did they make you more? When did you start to get interested?
Honestly, it was not really anything that they said. So they didn't say anything like, oh, do you want to come to church? Or I go to church, or I read the Bible. It was more of their character.
Wow.
You could just kind of tell that they were different. The way that they would present themselves in like certain situations. And I think that's something I really admired. So yeah, I did kind of like I asked, oh, what is Christianity? And then I started going to church, and that was
Oh, wow. So what was like your first experience going to church
how's your
as like
first
someone
church experience?
that wasn't raised as a Christian?
I cried. I actually cried. Yeah. The first church I went to was Hillsong in Brisbane, Mount Gravatt campus. And it's so youthful there. It's really big, but I didn't feel like overwhelmed. Like I felt so comfortable, and like there would be people who would approach me, but I didn't feel like I was getting kind of crowded around. And I was very open. I was like, oh, this is my first time going to church. The people around me prayed for me. Yeah. And I think I just felt a lot of relief. Like I like almost like you've lost something for so long. You've finally found it.
Do you have any like misconceptions or like expectations about church before you went, and then like were they met or were they completely what was your stereotype of like Christians and Christianity?
Well,
So growing up, we had like television, we had like cable, and there was always this service that I would watch as a kid growing up. Not intentionally, but I felt like it was always the same service, but it was always like, I'm pretty sure it was like a Catholic church. And they were like handing out, like breaking bread and things like that. And like just having communion every time. So that was my like vision of what a church was.
bread.
Yeah, so when I went to Hillsong, that was not it. Yeah.
But you didn't know what the reason why they were breaking bread or anything, right?
No, I just knew that was a church. And I think about how all of these little situations kind of built
Built you up.
yeah, because I must have been so young, but to remember those little memories.
Those memories.
Yeah.
So what happened after Brisbane Hillsong?
I kept going to Hillsong, so that was my church.
Did you know?
Would you, looking back, would you consider yourself like, was that your turning point of when you were saved?
Yes. Yeah, because I think before, like the person I was before that, I don't remember who she was. Yeah, I don't understand how she would go through situations and like how she made decisions. It was really hard to kind of remember that person, and I didn't realize I was forgetting bits and pieces of her, like on my journey, like getting to know Jesus. Yeah, I didn't have the greatest knowledge about Jesus. Like when I first converted, it played a the reason why was because the first Bible I purchased was a King James.
Oh.
So I didn't understand anything I was reading, but praise the Lord. I read the New Testament. Because I did ask, like, how do I read the Bible? Like, I'm someone who doesn't read. Like, I read. I enjoy reading academic books. I don't like fiction books.
You like informational.
Yeah, I feel like my time needs to be spent. Yeah, but maybe that's attached to a bit of trauma. I don't know.
This is why you didn't go to school.
Yeah. No, that is, yeah. Yeah, so I finished the New Testament, but I didn't really understand it.
King James.
Wow, you finished the entire New Testament in King James.
Yeah.
Wow, honestly, that's really impressive. As a person that like just, converted.
Yep.
That's really impressive.
I had a lot of like nights where I would just read myself to sleep.
Aww.
Yeah, it was because I think it's also it was really comforting. Yeah. Even though I didn't know what I was reading, there was still comfort that was coming out of it. Yeah.
What made you choose like Jesus specifically or Christianity? Like what was it, I guess, like what was going through your head during that point, that turning point?
I think it would have been the Christians around me, just their character. I think that was what really pushed me, because I think I was like looking into like self-development in that kind of season. And I think maybe I was like very lost. Yeah, because I was very detached from my parents, although I like really loved them, and like I felt like every day I was living for them. And I was doing a lot of things like for my siblings, because they're so much younger than me. I don't know, I felt like I kind of lost myself, or I just didn't know who I was. So kind of during that season I kind of felt like that's who I want to be. Like I want to be that person that not really stands out, but like in that kind of goodness that I can lead people to like seek. I don't know, like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Seek their purpose.
Yeah.
Jesus glow, guys.
Yeah, the Jesus glow.
Shout out to the Christians around Jenny in 2018.
I know.
Yeah.
Shout out to them, because you don't even need to say anything to spread about who God is.
Yeah. If you're a Christian, the first Bible that non-believers read is you.
Is you.
You're the first Bible that they read.
Was it like public knowledge in 2018 that you converted? Like, did you tell your family?
Yeah, were you like secretly hiding the Bible under your pillow? Like,
No.
Reading it.
and when they come in, you're like, what are
Maths
you
book.
Educational book.
No, I'm a very honest person, and I'm very open, so I don't really hide things. My siblings might think differently, but I don't really hide things. So as soon as I was like sure, and I knew that this was the road I was going to continue walking on, I went to my parents on my day off, because during that time I was working at my parents' restaurant. I walked in and they're like, "Oh, why are you here? You must be here to help out with the shop." But I was like, "Oh no, I have something to tell you." And the crazy thing was, like, my cousin, when I first approached her about the question, like, who is Jesus, she prayed for me. She played the song. She played a Hill song. I forget what the song was. But when the song was playing, I had like the thought of my mum kind of came to me. I knew that I had to tell my parents about it, and it wasn't something I wanted to hide. Like, I really wanted to share this with them, because I knew they wouldn't be happy, but I knew there was like, it was good news. So I shared, and my dad is a very, like, if people know my dad, that he's very like
traditional.
Yep, he's very outspoken, very honest, very, doesn't say things lightly or nicely. Yeah, so he took it really well.
Oh wow.
He wasn't like, oh, you like, you know, do it. It was more of
He thought it would be a phase.
yeah, maybe that was why. Yeah, maybe he didn't take it seriously, but he took it really well that day. My mom didn't, so I kind of looked back at like, oh, maybe that was the thought of my mom. Maybe that was preparing me for this. Yeah. So I've always felt guilty because of it, because my mom got sick and she would mention things to kind of make me feel guilty, like, you're the reason why like I'm not well and things like that. And like, I'm sure family would have heard the same thing, but I think deep down I knew that I don't have that much power over my parents' like physical health. Like maybe I stressed her out a bit, that's fair. But yeah, they didn't like beat me up or anything. They were very like gentle about it. And yeah,
And I mean, now they got facelifts in Laos, so
yeah,
they're retired. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be the one who's stressed.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, are you the only believer in your family?
No. So after I'm not sure how the timeline actually did work out, but from my perspective, I converted to Christianity, and my sister was dating someone who was Christian at that time. And when I moved here to Melbourne, I believe that's when she converted as well.
Wow.
My older sister. Yeah.
Aww.
And
So
I
it like wasn't just you that contributed to your mom's stress. Like,
yep. Now, yep.
it was both of you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. God's timing, man. Yeah. So,
Chill.
like, what happened after that? What has your journey been now, like, with God? Being, I guess, 7 years into your faith.
Yeah.
What have been like some really memorable things that you've learned?
Yeah.
I think my biggest challenge after converting was getting baptized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of from what I've been told, there's a lot of spiritual things like that Hmong people believe in. So when, as a woman, it may sound very sexist, but as a woman who is not married, you can't really change your religion. Like, that's not something you should do.
Wow.
Yeah, because you essentially cut off those spiritual ties.
Right.
Don't quote me on it.
Like, you never get them back, or?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So
you can't, like, if you change your mind.
I'm not sure how that works,
Yeah.
to be honest. Yeah. Haven't thought about that. Haven't needed to think about that. Yeah, so like, even when I was thinking about getting baptized, because if I was to marry a Christian man, a Hmong Christian man, I would have to follow. It's so weird. I would have to follow his religion. And
even though he's Christian,
yeah.
like, if you weren't Christian, as
Yep.
Hmong.
Yeah.
Really?
So that's a rule. And I think the one thing that stayed with me was, because I had a friend who was going through this. She was told that if her parents passed away, she wouldn't be able to attend the funeral as their child. She would have to attend as a guest.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I think that stuck to me.
And your friend's a Christian.
She's not a Christian. She was dating someone who was.
Oh wow. And so
and
that makes her like
yeah.
spiritually a
Well,
Christian. Not spiritually, but
she was thinking about like maybe taking the next step
right.
or like she was also getting told, you know, if you marry this man, then you can't, you know, there's certain things you can't do anymore as your as my child.
Right.
Yeah, so
Wow, the traditions are very like...
Yeah, it's scary. It's like when you, I think when you put your family, if your family's involved, it is scary.
Yeah.
Because no matter what I believe in, I still have to respect what they
follow.
Yeah.
And what they want. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, so if that, at the end of the day, if that's what they want, and that was kind of what I was weighing, like, am I giving up my family? Because that was kind of what everyone was telling me, like, if you get baptized, you're giving up your whole family.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's just, it doesn't sound, to a rational mind, it's like, of course that's not going to happen, but to, like, when you love Jesus, but you love your parents, and you, like, I don't want to force them into anything. I was thinking of, it has, like, love your parents.
Honor your father and mother.
Yeah.
Oh, this one. Here's Luke 12:51. Do you think I have come to bring peace to the earth? No, I have come to divide people against each other. From now on, families will be split apart, 3 in favor of me and 2 against, or 2 in favor and 3 against. Father will be divided against son, and son against father. Mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, and mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law.
Is that the verse I was thinking about?
You should tell us.
You know what? I was thinking about a verse,
What is
but it's basically the same thing. Like, Jesus talks about how, like, especially if you come from a family that doesn't know him, like, there's you're going to have to sacrifice something, and sometimes that thing is family. Sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's, like, you know, your job or something, but I think for a lot of Christians and for a lot of people that convert, it's family, and that's a really hard decision because, like, family is so important, and it's also the Bible that tells us to honor
your parents.
Honor your father and mother, and, you know, love your brother, you know. So I think it's a really
tough decision.
100%. Yeah.
But God also adopts us as his sons and daughters
into his family,
into
tree.
his godly family.
That's right.
So.
And we're blessed with new brothers and sisters. Yeah, which I think is a really beautiful thing. But I actually didn't know this because, like, we were here for your baptism, but I had no idea about this, like, I guess what you had to go through, what you were going through at the time with making that big decision.
I had a chat, actually, like, when I first decided to, because I knew I was getting baptized, I just didn't know when and how and what that would look like. But before I got baptized in 2023, I actually flew up to Brisbane and spoke to my parents about it.
I remember this.
Yeah, so I had a really, this must have been like this first or second last night of my whole trip. So I had the whole trip to tell them, but I was so nervous. I didn't know how to start. And I prayed so hard because the last thing I wanted was to hurt them.
Yeah.
But I wanted them to know why I was getting baptized. So I had a really long chat, and
how did you start it off, like, the conversation?
I just told them I'm thinking about getting baptized. With my broken Hmong.
Wow.
So I said it, and then my dad was like, take a seat. Sit down. You take a seat, sit down. But it was such, like, it to a third party, it may have sounded a bit like heavy, but it was such a peaceful conversation that I had with my parents. And my mom, like, because my mom has a very gentle personality, but she was the one who took it really hard at the beginning. She was so, like, so encouraging.
Really?
Yeah, she was so open to the idea. She was like, if this is what you want to do, I can see that you've changed. And that was kind of one thing I also wanted to do. Like, I wanted to prove to them, or not even prove to them, I wanted to show them that I could become a different person in like become a good daughter to them. Because I didn't have like the best qualities before becoming Christian. And yeah, they saw the changes, and I think because of it, it played a big part to them saying, like, you decide. Like, this is what's going to happen, because you're not like, you've gotten baptized, but it's still your choice. So yeah, it gave me so much comfort. And yeah, I would have got baptized anyway. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But yeah, it was such a blessing to have that conversation and then get baptized. Yeah. Because I actually reached out to my older sister. I was like, how did you ask Mom and Dad about getting baptized? And she was like,
oh, so she got baptized before you did?
Yeah. Oh. She was like, I didn't ask, I just did it. I was like, I wish
She's the eldest, that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, she's someone who doesn't ask. Yeah. But it was so comforting. And I think it did show a bit of trust with it helped me and my parents build a bit of trust as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because you told them.
Yeah.
Just do it. You had a chat about it.
Yeah.
Was there any specific Bible verse that you clung onto?
I have my cousin's cousin. She was in a similar situation. So she was born into a non-Christian Hmong family, and she married into a Christian Hmong family. I don't believe I believe she converted to Christianity before she actually got married. So yeah, I, like, very early on in my Christian journey, I sat with her and like had the conversation about it. And yeah, this was a Bible verse that she gave me, which really stuck to me. And I'm so glad I had that chat with her, because I'm glad, like, I'm kind of bringing my parents along with my journey. It is Ephesians 6, verse 2. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise.
Do you know what I love about that verse?
Mm-hmm.
And I only actually realized it really recently. I'm going to say in the part, it was either this year or end of last year I realized it when I read it. But every time Christians quote that, it's always honor your father and mother, and that's it. But that's not the entire verse. It's honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with a promise.
With a promise. And what's that promise? The promise is you'll live a long life, a good and long life.
Yeah.
But there's a promise to it, and God rewards those who listens to His commandments.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And it's like, yeah, God will reward us and bless us when we follow Him. And also, like, everything that He tells us to do, like, inherently, it's good for us. Like, it's good for us. Honoring our parents it's a good thing. And there are 100% situations where it's like, you know, if your parents are abusive or if your parents are not great people, like, there's only so much you can do to honor them. And like what the Bible and what Christians sometimes miss, or what non-Christians miss, is that the Bible also says parents do not provoke your children to anger.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, there's always a promise, and God wants what's best for us. God genuinely wants what's best for us, and that's why all of His, like, rules are there. Yeah. It's not rules, it's protection.
It's protection, yeah.
It's protection.
Yeah, I think it's always stuck with me. Yeah.
And like, that just goes to show, like, your character in Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, even though
It does.
you like you didn't, I guess, know how they would react, but you obviously could assume that they wouldn't be happy with it. You still decided to
tell them anyways.
Not only honor them but honor God in that by telling them that.
Mm.
Yeah, and you didn't have to. You could have. You were an adult at this point. You could have gotten baptized. You
Yeah.
could have said,
I had a lot of experience being an adult at that point.
Yeah. In the same state, but you still.
And I think you did really show them what a good daughter looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, thank
Hi,
you.
Jenny.
Oh, thanks.
How are your parents finding it now after you've been baptized? And everything?
They're very they're very peaceful. They're very like in the Hmong culture. If you're not Christian, it's very difficult for you to really engage with the Christian Hmong community. But my parents are very they get along with anyone who's Hmong or just anyone in general. Yeah, so I think that's the one thing I love about my parents, because my dad's a very outspoken, traditional Hmong guy, but he's so open. He'll sit there and pray with you, even though he doesn't understand what it is.
If you could go back in time and encourage yourself who's doubting, who's first met Jesus, but you're doubting whether to go into Christianity, what would you tell yourself to encourage yourself? What would you say to her? What would you say to young Jenny, young baby Jenny?
I'm not sure if she's a baby, but young Jenny, I would tell her to keep going. Yeah, that if she finds the day hard, that it gets easier.
Do you have anything to say to people that are not Christian?
Yeah.
That are not Christian
Anyone
yet?
who might be listening? Who wanted to hear?
Who I guess might be able to relate.
Yeah,
to
might be
your
able to
story.
relate.
Um,
Didn't grow up in a Christian household.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask the Christians around you anything that you're curious about, and spend time with them, and you'll know what to do after that. Yeah.
There you go, guys.
And to the Christians, make sure you read the entirety of the New Testament
In the King James.
so you can answer the questions
Yeah.
that your non-Christian friends approach you with.
Make sure your life is read like the Bible.
That's
You're
right.
the first Bible that others read. So,
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
were there any God ordained miracles, or anything that's very spiritual experiences that you've had that you're yep, this has to be God. This has to be God. This has to be Jesus.
I think the biggest thing would have to be the birth of my youngest brother. Yeah. Before I became Christian, or this would have been before I became Christian, my brother was born, and into kind of a bad period of my parents' marriage. And my mom has never left us. Even if they have an argument, she never leaves the home. But this time she left for, I think, 4 or 5 days. And that's kind of when I knew something, I'm not sure if she's coming back. I'm not sure if they can actually mend their relationship. It was really weird because I didn't know my mom was pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of found out maybe midway or late in my mom's pregnancy that she was pregnant, and I found out through my coworker.
Are you still working at the restaurant?
Yeah, I was working at my parents' first restaurant.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then my colleague mentioned it. I was in my head, I was like,
Mom.
I was like, what? My mom's pregnant. How can
To
my
be fair, I found out my mom was pregnant, not from her.
As well.
Yeah.
When was she gonna tell you that?
Honestly, wait, how did you feel when you found out, when your coworker told you that your mom was pregnant?
I didn't believe her.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom didn't look pregnant.
Yeah.
and I was just like my mom's, she wasn't young.
Yeah.
So I was very, I didn't know why my parents wanted another child. Like,
Mom,
there's
you
already,
still got it in you.
yeah, there's 6 of us already. Why did you want more? But yeah, he was born, and it was almost like our family dynamic changed. My parents, their priorities changed. My drive, like my career drive changed. Yeah, like everything changed. Yeah, because my brother was born with a disability, and yeah, because it was such a rare disability, and you can visually see his disability, but it's also like intellectual as well. It was just really hard for my parents to kind of adapt. So I think because of those difficulties, they focused more on my brother. Yeah. Yeah, and he was a cute baby, so maybe that pulled a few heartstrings. Yeah.
So they worked to get they mended after your brother was born.
Yeah, yeah. Because during that time, I felt like it was my dad's fault that my parents had such a clash, and I was like because of all the stress my mom's going through, like that's why my brother's born with a disability, so that I kind of hooked onto that, like until I actually converted to Christianity and started to understand like God's purpose and things, and like his, like how he dwells in our lives, and like his presence, even throughout our lives before we meet him, like he's there. And yeah, I just loved how our family changed, like after my brother was born. It was almost like we became a completely new family. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
God is really there, like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I feel like we can both recall times when God was working.
Like, yeah, you thought
before we even like knew him.
Yeah.
Before we even knew him,
God was there.
he was working. Yeah. And he's even working now, like the fact that we all know each other.
Yeah.
Whoever's listening is listening. Like,
Yeah.
How?
I think that's the Lord.
The Lord.
That's the Lord.
How old's your younger brother now?
So he was born when I was 2014.
2014. 10 years.
10.
The 11.
Yeah. Not 9. 11.
11. 2025.
Bleepers.
It's not 2023. I wish it was 2023.
Here is young.
Maybe I didn't really do well in school.
I did not do well in school.
To be fair, he's my brother. I should know. I shouldn't have to do maths.
No, it's okay. I didn't memorize my family's birthdays like until I was like 16, 17. I didn't actually memorize this. Sometimes
That's fair.
Because my mum has 2 birthdays and I don't remember her.
2?
Like, yeah.
Like
she's got her real one and then she's got her passport one, and I don't actually know her passport one. On my mum's passport it says she was born in 1978, but she was actually born in 1979.
Wow.
So she's got a completely different birthday on her passport.
Very similarly, Hmong, like, because my parents, they have the same birthday.
Yeah.
So
the same birthday as each other, like.
Yeah, like the day,
Wow.
not the same year, but like the month and the day.
Wow.
And I grew up knowing that, and like people who would find out would say things like, oh, you guys were destined to be together. But then I found out like later on it's not, it was man-made.
Oh my god.
But they celebrate their birthday still on that day.
Yeah, we still celebrate it on that day.
Money.
Oh wow, they
Celebrate
say the
together.
money.
Yep.
It's like their anniversary / Valentine's.
Yeah,
too.
slash everything.
Yep.
Everything. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
What do you think is your next step in your walk with God? What is something God has been telling you in this season of your life?
I think transformation. Yeah, I think I've had a huge transformation since last year, and I feel like there's more to come. Yeah, so I'm praying that journey continues peacefully. Yeah.
I love
I love
that.
Yeah.
Those who are interested in going to church, but they're nervous, what would you say to those?
When you go, focus more on the word than the people around you. And if it speaks to you and it brings you peace more than anything else, then keep going. It's not going to hurt.
If the sermon is like on target and directly a message for you, it's God.
Yeah.
My advice would be to listen to the sermon. Open your ears.
Open your ears. Ask Holy Spirit.
Especially if you grew up in the church, because I know some of y'all grew up going to church every Sunday since you were a kid. Open your ears to what God might actually be saying to you, because there's a lot.
There's a lot that you can apply.
Yeah. I love how we all come from like different, I guess, like we've all come from different areas and walks of life, but we've all met at Jesus. We've all met where Jesus is. Like, you grew up, believing, your family believing in like this, in spirits. And, like, I guess spirituality.
Yeah.
And then Kirsten, your family, you grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the
Dominant.
Christian church, but none of us, we were never like born there. We weren't born believing or knowing who Jesus was entirely. And so it really is a big blessing
Yeah.
to get to know a God that has so much love for his creation and so much love for us.
And we're all here sitting on a couch talking about our experiences with Jesus.
Yeah.
See how
how good is God?
Been,
like, genuinely,
I can't think how
Like,
good.
You don't need to be smart. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be healed. You don't need to be a goody two shoes to come to God.
Exactly.
You don't need any of that.
He wants everyone. He wants you.
He takes you as you are.
He takes you as you are.
Literally. No matter what family you come from.
No matter what background, God wants you.
God wants.
Yeah.
So that's it for this week's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're your hosts. I'm Gracie.
And I'm Kirsten.
And this is our guest,
Jenny.
And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll hopefully see you sooner than the gap that we took last time. Yeah.
2025, lock in.
2025, lock in.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jenny, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if you want to know more about Jenny's testimony, then feel free to reach out to her. Okay, yeah, we'll put her
on the spotlight.
We'll put her info. We'll put her social security number in the
I'll give you my business email.
We hope you have an amazing walk with God.
That's right.
And an amazing encounter and experience with Jesus. And we hope that you find the right church and the right people to surround yourself with and a godly community. Not just those who call them Christian because they're just born into a Christian family, but because they actually want to be Christian. They actually want to follow Jesus. Yeah.
And we hope you're free to make your own choices and to make your own decisions about what you believe in, and free to ask questions.
Yeah.
That's right. In Jesus' name,
we pray.
Amen.